Alright, here we go, boys and girls. Another turning for you. It's cherry once again, and it's a crotch. You can see the figure where one limb went one way and the other limb went the other. Creates a nice, like a burst effect in here where the two trees grew together. It's an interesting piece. They also have some sort of large butt growth there. Not sure I'll catch any of that. This is what I want to capitalize on here, and I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I think I'm going to end up placing the faceplate here. Maybe I'll put it on the back. I'm not sure yet which side I want to be, the inside of the bowl or a shallow bowl. So I'm just going to take it one step at a time here, and we'll see where she leads. So I just cut the one side, and it reveals a couple old limbs that have been grown over. That's not something that I'm going to want in my bowl, so I'm going to choose to use the top as the face. So if I use this part as the face, who knows what I'll get. I think some pretty big splits in there. We'll see where this goes. I'm sweating. It's almost November here in North Virginia. I'm actually in Maryland right now, Maryland side of the Potomac, and at a park, Violet's Lock, and so it's warm. I'm sweating. Seems to be the hardest part right here is just getting this chunk ready. I'm going to mount that faceplate. I've spoken before about how important it is on a smaller lathe, and I want to maximize the bowl, to really try to do as much pre-cutting and skimming first. So what I just did is I measured it 12 inches, so it's a little big. So I took my chainsaw, as I worked around it, just skimmed around the top. So I need to make it a little bit smaller, and then I turned the head around and did it a little more until I worked my way all the way around it. You can see doing it that way makes it real easy to cut your radiuses. So let's see how close we are now. Should be pretty close. So I've almost got it. Starts to spin. It's hitting right here. I'm gonna mark it. And it's hitting again right here. So I'll mark those 2 points, take a little bit more off with the chainsaw until she spins freely. It really does take quite a bit of work to get the bowl to this spot here, this part of the process, but it's pretty fulfilling knowing that the hard part is the hardest part, I think, is done for me anyway. Look at this sweat. It's hot. Times when I'm cutting a bowl, this has got a natural round edge to it, right? That the bottom of the bowl will follow. So does in this side. Tree grows out this way. So typically what I like to do is take the chainsaw and take off that bit, so it makes it a lot easier. This bit down here, it's a real slow process. Right now I'm only hitting this one side, and it's a real pain and a real slow go at it. But I didn't know quite the shape of this bowl because it was lopsided and how it was going to turn out. So I decided not to do that because I could have potentially ruined or lost big segments of the bowl. Now it's just going to take a little longer, but it's worth it. So sooner or later, and as you're turning, you start to think about what it is that you want here. You know, after all, it is a hunk of wood, and it's all up to you on how you want it to turn out looking. No pun intended. I prefer, because this is so, this crotch mark here is probably the prettiest part of this bowl, And if I turn down in and make it a deep bowl, I'm only going to see it on this small part. So what I like to do is make a shallow bowl, and then, you know, I can make a shallow bowl like this, and I don't have to make the rest of it shallow. I can create a little curve here. I like doing that to bowls. It's kind of, so if it curves down and then out, you'll see what I mean. But I've done it in wood turning, and I've done a wood turning on a curly spalted, curly wormy maple, tiger maple, and I think that's about it. Maybe something else, but this is cherry crotch, and I think I'm going to do the same thing here. Should be interesting. There's some cracking up towards the more shallower part of this tree. It's going pretty deep, so I'm going to have to turn a lot of that away anyhow. Okay, time to look at a few things. One being the piths. See where these piths are? I'll probably turn about at least a ½ inch out of here to get this more stable. And that's about it. ½ inch to 3/4. Still got some cracking going on I got to turn out from earlier when it dried. I think that's mainly it there. And another one here. I already shortened this about 1.5 inches. I'm going to keep shortening it. Turn up the speed. Excuse me. Keep wearing her down. So this is what I mean by a shallow bowl. I left that lump in there just in case I wanted to leave like a big bead. This could also be a hollow vessel too, but I'm gonna flip her around after turning off some of this and start to turn off some of this face and see when I need to stop, so I want to keep that figure. Okay. You know what? I think I screwed myself with those damn holes that I drilled. This is the figure that I want to keep here. What I could do is, once I get rid of the crack, is I can work this down in and make it a decorative bowl and leave a nice thick wide rim on it. And just where these holes are, just go deeper there. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. We'll see. Okay, now what I have here is a tenyon and some beautiful crotch figure that I want to keep. I don't want to lose too much. Looks like I'm staying at that depth. I still got it. I had to turn out those screws. So you can see why I wanted to keep it. Thinner I go at this point, you know, I really got to be careful because I want it to warp now. It'll still warp later, but I want it to dry and warp. But it's just beautiful stuff right there. Not sure what it's gonna end up looking like finally, but at least I'll get it to the point where I can finish it. Well, there you have it, folks. That's a rough turn crotch, cherry crotch. It's got a tenyon so I can jig it, chuck it from either side now. It's thin enough to the point where it'll dry, and still thick enough to the point where I can turn and make some decisions and see where I want to go with it. This could be a total decorative piece. I thought about making this center into a dome, and however I can pull out that gorgeous figure. If I put some oil on it right now, you'd be amazed. Dump some cutting board oil on it so you can see the figure. And another idea I had is, this could be a dip area. Once I finished it off, put dip in there and then chip some vegetables around the outside. I really just wanted to get some oil on this so you could see the figure. and how nice it looks. Some people appreciate this stuff more than others. Me, I love it. That's why I do it.